Are you ready for the second American Revolution?
Yeah!
There you go. I'm here not only as the head of the Center for Economic and Social Justice, that's just a think tank developing ideas, but I'm also here as a co-founder of the American Revolutionary Party. It's to bring together all Americans, people from the left, people from the right, people from not just the muddled middle, but the radical middle. People who want to go back to the basic principles of this country. Justice, freedom. If we go back to Jefferson, he said that when the country or any government stops serving the people can change it. So this is a time to get power back to the people. This is a country that made itself different from the rest of the world by saying that sovereignty doesn't belong to the state. It belongs in each one of you and each one of all people who are Americans. America offered an idea that was the last best hope of mankind, as Lincoln said. I think these signs represent what we're talking about. I want to start with a quote by Buckminster Fuller. That was probably one of the great thinkers in the 20th century. And he said, "We are architects of the future, not its victims. We are called to change the system, to make it work for the benefit of all people." In 1979, there was the first demonstration at the Fed. No one has ever had it before. I was here with the American agriculture movement. The farmers from all over the country, basically Vietnam War veterans who went out and bought farms after they returned, and tractors, and got into high debt. And that was a time around 1979, you had double-digit inflation, you had double-digit unemployment, and the Russians went into Afghanistan, and Carter, the president, cut off the grain trade. That eliminated a major market for the farmers, and they came into Washington to change the system. And they brought in tractors from all over the country, and they were barricaded in front of the Congress. And I sat and talked with them about how would you like to get 3% money? At that time, they were getting much more, at least 3%. Actually, interest-free money, and then it's going to cost you a little bit more. And of course, that is for refinancing the debt. So they said, you know, this makes a lot of sense. Farmers understand a lot of things, and they also understand these are populists, and they understood that you could change the Federal Reserve. So we went to the mayor, and the mayor said, okay, if the farmers leave town, they can have one more demonstration. And they came, and the barricades were removed. It was like the Red Sea opening up, and they were supposed to have only 250 tractors, he said, but all 450 tractors came down Constitution Avenue and surrounded the Fed. And so we had a meeting in the Fed. Unfortunately, you'd have to follow up. So it's taken many years, but for the last 4 years, we've had a demonstration at the Fed. You can get it if you go to Just Third Way in YouTube. You'll get the videos of a couple of the years. Now, so the Fed has to change. Now the Fed, one thing to keep in mind, I too am a lawyer, and I know that lawyers are supposed to bring about justice. But one thing you don't learn in any of the law schools, they teach you the law, but they don't teach you justice. And so you have unjust laws. And it's only when the people like you come together, wake up the American people, and when there's a critical mass of people power, then you change the laws. And that's what has to happen with the Federal Reserve. And I'm going to be talking about that. We are talking about how you can move from a nation that's become a nation of wage slaves, welfare slaves, charity slaves, debt slaves. How do we free the people by changing the money system? What is money? What is money? Money is a social good. The Federal Reserve is only a social tool. The government is only a social tool. America was not formed for people to be controlled by the tools or to worship the tools. We don't worship money power, and we shouldn't worship government power. They are supposed to serve all of us. So we need to think in terms of how do we bring about a money system that will bring justice to the people, that will bring freedom to the people, that will bring power to the people, and that's where power belongs. We know one thing about power, that as you concentrate power, you bring about corruption. And as Lord Acton said, absolute power corrupts absolutely.